Hi, this is Zak Mir with the US Chartbreakers here at Zak's Traders Cafe for Saturday, the 22nd of June. Starting off with the S&P, which is in this rising trend channel from late September, early October, top of the channel there, heading for 5,700, which is obviously what we're dreaming of sometime by the end of the summer. In the meantime, a little pullback, the previous June resistance 55 or 54.47, and below that the chance of test for support down to 5,400, but we're not expecting anything lower than 5,400 ahead of further moves to the upside. If you look at it, we're actually only just over half the height of the channel, the width of the channel at the moment, and therefore there is scope for rather more on the upside. Moving on to the S&P, the Nasdaq 100 rather, and here you can see that we've temporarily hit the top of that rising trend channel from back in September. That was around 19,900. Come back from that uptrend line there around 19,400. Below that, we have the risk of another test of old resistance from the beginning of the month around 19,000. If we do break high through 20,000, then the next level up would be up to as high as 21,000, hopefully by the end of next month. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with Nebula, and here you can see that we've got this market within a broadening triangle that's been in place basically since back in November, broken through the 50-day line there at $2.40, and above that looking for $3.60 as soon as the end of next month for Nebula Pharmaceuticals. Next up is Archer, which we have looked at before, but rather painful decline over the first half of this year, just trying to break back above the 50-day line there. And if we do that, which I suppose you could argue we have just about done, and we do that on a consistent basis, then the initial target here could be up towards the $4.40 level over the next 2 to 4 weeks. But ideally, we stay on the right side of that 50-day line, just around where Friday's close was. Moving on to Barfresh, which we've also been looking at of late, and here looking for a fresh leg to the upside, wide rising trend channel there from basically back at the end of 2022. Just missed the top of that channel there at $3.70. Hopefully we'll have another go on that while we're above the $2.50 area, which has been recent support for the shares. Interesting setup here coming up at Cyclerion, and here you can see that got a potential falling wedge breakout. The current picture is that we're looking for the 50-day moving average to break, and also that resistance line there from back in December. The nominal level there to break really $3, and above that then looking for a retest of the turn of the year resistance near $5 by the end of next month. Fufu is next, otherwise known as BitFufu, and here one of our sort of sparse chart situations, but we are looking for the top of that rising trend channel from back in March as high as $11.60, and looking for that especially while we remain above recent resistance around $5.50. So let's see if with minimal charting furniture there we have a target hit above $11. It's also interesting that the 50-day line is now starting to rise as well, which obviously explains why we are moving well. Next up is Geovax, and here you can see that we're just breaking above a rising 50-day line within a broadening channel, a broadening triangle rather. The 50-day line there, $1.60. Above that, we're looking for the top of the triangle there at $3.50 by the end of next month, or hopefully rather sooner than that over the near term. One of our favorites in the recent time has been Liposine, and here you can see after the shares hit our target, or the top of that channel there, $9.60, they've come back, but we found support basically just above old resistance from April. That was around the $7.20 area, and above that we're looking for a fresh attempt on breaking to the upside, not only up to $9.70 in the top of that channel there from May last year, but also as a best case scenario later in the summer up to $16. So maybe by the end of July or August time. Money Hero, also a relative regular here on the Chartbreakers, and here waiting for the big break to the upside, which would be a break of that resistance line there from back in October. $2.85 the level to beat, and then that would then hopefully lead to $5.50 at the top of that rising trend channel from back in November, perhaps by the end of next month, but obviously we're hoping for that also to happen during the summer. Next up is Outset Medical, and here rising trend channel base, and a gap higher to end the week as well, which was also rather helpful. Looking for the top of that channel there as high as $5.90, while we remain above the floor of the channel there around $3.70. But nice rebound above and gap above the 50-day line, which suggests decent momentum there. Going on to Sarepta, and here the situation is we've got a gap to the upside, the second major gap, I suppose, in the recent past. The first one was back at the beginning of the year, at least to the upside, and the view now is that we're heading towards the top of a rising trend channel, one which has been in place since the beginning of last year. $220 the target there, while we're above the old resistance there for the shares, $155 to $160 ideally. Going on to the last two, and the first one is one which we haven't looked at before. You can see that UBX has managed to make progress within a notional rising trend channel there from back in April. Top of the channel heading for just under $18. We're looking for that by the end of next month or even sooner, while we remain above the previous resistance there, $8.20. But looks quite encouraging, that situation. There might actually be a little bit more than $18 for the bulls on that one. Finishing off with Wrap Technologies, and here it's a broadening triangle base situation, breaking the 50-day line of $1.70 and looking for up to $5.50 perhaps by the end of next month if all goes well. And that will probably mean that we'll need to see decent price action above the old April resistance, $2.20 to $2.30 over the next week or two. But at least here, a recovery situation while we're above that 50-day line of $1.65. That's it for me today. More updates during the week.